let's talk about the word ambition as it relates to work ethic and a strong desire or determination to succeed, as a quick Google search defines it. This is an on her terms word study. I hope you'll indulge me because this is a really important conversation, especially for creative entrepreneurial moms where we value our alone time and our own personal journeys, spiritual paths. We value our relationships, our connections to the people that we love most and at home. And we also value creative expression and financial empowerment, which is why business is a beautiful value up there too. But sometimes on the lazy Susan of highest values, the recycle emoji, if you will, family takes a front seat. And I have heard, and I have thought this way, I've heard so many conversations where it's as if ambition can only relate to that career path, your financial or your vocational area of life. And I want to offer an alternative perspective here if this is something that you have been challenged by, because I've shared in multiple other podcast episodes. There's one called Biz Baby Blues after my second son was born, and I wasn't really finding the same oomph for business. This was back in 2016, and I've shared my story multiple times in multiple ways. There's a 10 episode series, one theme and story from each of the first 10 years since I started my business, and I share just a whole lot about the transition from super traditionally, air quotes, ambitious first few years of business to another identity shift whenever we moved from Hawaii to Texas several years ago. And originally the intention, my initial ambition, once I realized what was possible when I started my business, was to be able to make so much that my husband could step away from full-time Navy life because he was gone like 80% of the last 4 years. And so that was my goal. It was like planning for the wedding, but not the marriage. So it's like, let me just make so much that it would make sense for us to choose a different path. So we chose a different path, but I didn't have a plan for what would happen then. I just assumed I would want to ramp things up, pedal to the metal, throw fuel on the fire, and just really go and grow with business, especially because he was going to be home more often and he had been gone all the time. So of course it was going to be easier, right? Not so much. And I share so much more about this in the book, Not Time Empowers book that I'm working on. Some of my favorite chapters are detailing that complete, how would I say, just a mismatch of expectations versus reality with that whole experience. But I was really, really hard on myself consciously because, like I said, my goal was that I'm just going to continue to grow even faster, bigger, louder, publishing more, blah, blah, blah. And then not only did I have, air quotes, lose that ambition and work ethic for business, but even like basic personal motherhood, like I was just exhausted on the couch, just watching life go by in slow-mo it wasn't in the entirety of the first couple of years, but when I look back and think about those years, there were it would be a lot of energy to just get up and get dressed, And so my husband really stepped up to the plate, and that actually helped me value all the things that are key to keeping a family and home running that have nothing to do with how much money you're getting paid, right? That so many of us are doing in either solo or sharing with partners and co-parents and things. Again, there's so much more to say about this, and I can share a whole lot more in the book, but for the purposes of this ambition conversation, just want to share with you my experience, which was for years I thought I lost my ambition or that I lost my work ethic. And one of the most powerful tools that I've ever learned and experienced and been trained in to use with my clients, it's called the DiMartini method. And one of those core principles is that it's not just like if you spot it, you got it. If you see something in someone else that you admire, then it's because you want it. It's like, no, you actually already embody that in the form of your highest values. And so when I was working on this, I'm like, okay, where's my ambition? If I think that I lost it, I know it's not lost, nothing's missing. Where's my work ethic? Where am I working hard for my family? Because I was being really hard on myself, thinking that I wasn't working hard for my family. And I remember when I had that just like open the floodgates of tears, because I realized in this time when I was doing the work to own this in myself, I was working hard for my family because we were opening up to the possibility of bringing a third child into our family, our daughter. And I had, and I've shared this on previous podcasts, not one, but two back-to-back miscarriages in the summer of 2019. And so being willing to just try again and to go through that after also having two losses between my boys, that's working hard for my family. And it's not to say that you have to go through loss to be working hard for your family. There are so many ways for families to grow. But I'm sharing that to help you honor your ambition and your work ethic. It doesn't have to be in physically or however you are bringing a new child into your family, but it can be the things that you're doing at home. Like I said, I barely felt like I had energy to be doing all the things at home for those early years of our transition. But there are so many ways to work hard and provide for your family that have nothing to do with a paycheck. But it's so easy in our society and the way that we're conditioned and what we traditionally value collectively here in the US at least, to hang ambition and work ethic on vocation and finance. And it's so much more than that. So I Googled as a scholar of language, I Googled and I was like, what is the actual definition of ambition? Because I hear people talking about this. And like I said, I did too. That's why it strikes me and activates me so much. Talking about losing ambition or keeping your ambition, but we're only applying it to such a narrow application of business, career, vocation, and finance. But ambition, again, according to the Google definition, is a strong desire or determination to succeed. So what does it mean to succeed? It's the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. So therefore, I would like to propose that the ultimate ambition is to live the life that only you can live, something that feels powerful and true to you. And if right now on the lazy Susan of life, I like to think about our top values over here as the lazy Susan or the recycle emoji, self, fam, biz. If for whatever reason you used to have a lot of ambition in business and currently it's more in your family, that's ambition too. That is valuable too. You can trust whatever it is that you actually value most, that is guidance of your soul. It is worthwhile. It is powerful. It's what brings you to life right now. And no matter what it brings to your bank account, it's valuable and worthy, not just to you and your soul's journey, because it's actually what's keeping you, like I said, feeling sparky, feeling alive, but because you're doing and honoring what actually matters to you most right now, in this moment, in this season, that influences how you're showing up for the people in your home, in your household, in your community, and ultimately in your business. Because it's not to say, again, it's a lazy Susan, it's all still there. Business and your vocation is still there. I can see how in these years, even though I slowed down and stepped back a lot, I'm like, actually, I just kind of transformed my business. I've been focusing more on smaller numbers of clients, close friends, my kids, my family. People in my offline life have been my expanded clientele, expanding my reach in this form, in this way, developing richness in my relationships. That is a foundational fuel for anything that I want to build creatively moving forward. The ambition never left. The work ethic never left. It just changed form according to my highest values. And if you start to feel or shame yourself or whatever because your values have shifted and thus the form of your ambition has shifted, I'm hoping that this share is helpful to you and that it shakes something loose so that you can see there's perfection in exactly what you care about right now. And it doesn't change your worth, your worthiness, your value as a person one bit. And that's it. For now, at least. I'm sure we could talk about this forever. So if you have anything that you want to share, click the link wherever you see it in the comment box. Let me know your thoughts. It's a big lesson, and I hope it shakes something valuable loose for you. All right, take care. Talk to you soon. Okay, technically that was the end of the episode, but since you're still here, one, I'd love to thank you for spending part of your day with me, and two, I'd love to ask you if you would take 30 seconds, maybe 60, to leave a rating and review in your podcast app before you tap out today. If you've already done that, it's amazing. Please send me a screenshot so I can thank you personally, and know that sharing this episode with a friend has the same magical powers, and I deeply appreciate both. Also, in case you're listening to the end to see if I ever actually introduce myself, hi! My name is Nikki Elledge Brown. I'm the host and author of Naptime Empires and this here On Her Terms podcast. You can find me around the internet at Nikki Elledge Brown in most places, but what you may appreciate most is actually over at onherterms.com. It's what I call the insider library. It's where you can get inside scoop, first listen rights, email updates every time there's a new episode, and then special insider only bonus content. It's all over in our private feed. Okay, that's a wrap for real. I'll meet you in the next episode.